Gen viewers, today I'll be speaking on the topic One Nation, One Election. One Nation, One Election is among the critical reforms in the current central government agenda. In fact, the former President of India, Ramnath Kovind, in its address to Parliament in January 2018, mentioned this as one of the reforms proposed by the government. Now, gentlemen, what is the central idea behind One Nation, One Election? The central idea behind One Nation, One Election is to synchronize the timing of Lok Sabha and state assembly election across all states to reduce the frequency of polls throughout the country. Now, I'll be talking about some benefits of having One Nation, One Election. Starting with first one, that is focused governance. It enables the government to concentrate on governance once the elections are over. Today, there is some election or the other in some part of the country at least every 3 months. The entire attention of the country becomes focused on these elections, from the Prime Minister to Union Ministers, from Chief Ministers to MPs, MLAs and Panchayat members. Everyone gets deeply involved with these elections as nobody wants to lose. Second one is continuity in policy decision. The Model Code of Conduct comes to play just after the elections are announced by the Election Commission. No new policy decisions are taken during elections due to the Model Code of Conduct. Therefore, key policy decisions get delayed both at the center and in the states and local bodies. Third one, it will reduce the cost of election. One of the main reasons for political corruption is frequent election. An enormous amount of money has to be raised at every election. Fourth one, it will reduce the deployment of security forces. Because, gentlemen, a large number of police personnel and paramilitary forces are engaged to ensure that elections are conducted peacefully. This involves massive redeployment involving huge cost. It also diverts key law enforcement personnel from their critical functions. Such deployment can be curtailed with simultaneous elections. Now, gentlemen, talking about some challenges that is associated with One Nation, One Election. First one is feasibility. Article 83 subclause 2 and 172 of the Constitution stipulates that the tenure of Lok Sabha and state assemblies respectively will last for 5 years unless dissolved earlier, and there can be circumstances as in Article 356 wherein assemblies can be dissolved earlier. Therefore, the One Nation One Election plan raises serious question. What would happen if the central or state government collapses mid-tenure? Second challenge is logistical challenges, because it will pose logistical challenges in terms of availability and security of EVMs, personals and other resources. Election Commission may face difficulties in managing such a massive exercise. Third one, it is against the idea of federalism. The idea of One Nation, One Election does not square with the concept of federalism, as it is established on the notion that the entire nation is one, contradicting the content of Article 1, which envisages India as a union of states. Last but not the least, the legal challenges. The Law Commission headed by Justice B.S. Chauhan reported the simultaneous elections are not feasible within the existing framework of the Constitution. It said that the Constitution, the Representation of the People Act 1951 and the rule of procedure of Lok Sabha and state assemblies would require appropriate amendments to conduct simultaneous polls. So, gentlemen, what can be the way forward? First of all, building consensus among all political parties and states on the need and feasibility of simultaneous elections. This could be done through dialogue, consultation and deliberation among various stakeholders. Also, amending the Constitution, the Representation of the People Act 1951 and the rules of procedure of Lok Sabha and state assemblies to enable simultaneous election. This would require a 2/3 majority in both houses of parliament and ratification by at least half of the states. Also, in my opinion, it can be held twice in a year so that if the assembly of any state is dissolved prematurely, the re-election can be conducted for the state in the next cycle. So, gentlemen, in conclusion, I would say the government should not implement One Nation, One Election in a hurry. It should conduct additional study, evaluate the data and solicit feedback from voters, opposition party leaders and local parties on how to implement the concept. Hence, let India decide whether it needs one nation, one election to be implemented or not. Thank you and Jai Hind.